Hey y'all, this is Gail teaching here from Southeast Texas, our gentle yoga for low back care. It's a beginner's class, about 60 minutes. We use yoga strap, a yoga block. Some folks like to use a chair and a yoga blanket, but of course we need a non-stick surface. Either that's your chair or your yoga mat, or again, non-stick surface on the floor. You can alternatively use two hand towels to kind of be the substitute for a yoga block, or maybe a couch pillow, and you kind of fold that in half. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can always use the bathrobe tie, or maybe your cat or dog leash, or maybe a long towel. That's also can be used too. I do record the class so that if you don't have gear, you can redo the class with gear, or if you need more than once a week, this kind of yoga sequence to help ease back challenges, then you've got that going on. I send an email. I send the survey in the email. I also have this survey here in the chat line. In fact, let me just go ahead and put that in there again. And we'll get started. We're going to start standing today or seated on the chair. So I'm going to stand up, kind of get this chair out of the way. I come back to the front of the room during guided rest, relaxation, and gratitude practice. And as always, keep everything between the easy and ouch. If it hurts, don't do it. Make a modification. Join us for the next pose. Breathe. Breathe in and out through the nose. Listen to your breath if you're in a spicy place. So our first yoga posture today, we'll do a little bit of breathing after we do this, but we're going into arm circles. So I invite you to kind of look at your feet, whether you're seated in the chair, whether you're standing on your yoga mat or your surface, and your feet firm into the floor. And I invite you to roll those shoulders up and back and do that again. And let's just alternate that. Get some little range of motion going on. Great for easing bursitis, rotator cuff challenges, and reverse. Go the other way. And your upper body, your hips might move a little bit when you do this. Very good. So next is our golfer's grip. That's where we fold our fingers into the pads of the hands. I can't quite get my right ones down, but I just do what I can. And then we have the top of the hand aligned with the forearm. So we don't go around with a cocked wrist. We have it nice and kind of straight as best we can, right? So to begin with, again, feet firm into the floor. And then we're going to do those little golfer grip arms, hands. We're going to hug the elbows into the side body and squeeze the shoulders. So get the shoulder squeeze going. And then I invite you, either arms are low or arms parallel to the floor coming out from the shoulders. But again, squeeze the shoulders. The thumbs are up to begin with, but we're going to point them towards the front of the room. So thumbs forward. So kind of take a look as you do this and readjust your hands if necessary. We'll draw circles forward and back behind us. This can be nice and slow. You can do this one at a time. Really push the feet firm into the floor. You can have a little bend in the knees if need be. But again, firm feet into the floor as you do these arm circles. So often where your pain is not where the problem is. So what we like to do in this back yoga class is work the upper body in addition to the lower body. So this is strengthening the upper back musculature plus, hello shoulders, right? And then release. Just kind of wiggle those shoulders a little bit, bend one knee, then the other. So kind of get some movement going back into the body. Yes, it looks a little weird. That's okay. Maybe it feels a little weird too. Maybe reverse all that. We're going to go back to those golfer grip hands. Again, elbows hugged in, and then squeeze those shoulders. Go back to either being low or parallel to the floor. Now to begin with, we had the thumbs forward. Let's do thumbs up. And just notice how that feels. And then thumbs back behind you. Ooh, little inner arm stretch there. Draw the circles behind you and forward. So there's this little oscillation of the body, upper body, lower body, just kind of moving a little bit. Squeeze those shoulders, firm feet into the floor. This is part of a postural alignment yoga therapy that we can do to make things more even, one side versus the other. And those of us with back challenges often have something going different, one side versus the other. Mine are going a little fast. Eventually, what you try to do is work up to 40 rotations. That takes a bit of time. So we're just doing a little bit today. and then relax and release that. Now see that my camera's kind of set up to where you can't see above my head, so I'm just going to grab my chair. You can still stay standing on this next one, by the way, and I'll just do this seated in the chair so it's all in the camera. So again, whether you're seated, whether you're standing, feet firm into the floor, maybe feet a little bit more forward, more of a right angle if you're doing the seated on the chair. And I invite you to interlace the hands in front of you. Now, this may be mission impossible, but we're going to try it. We're going to push the palms away, and some of my fingers release when I do this. I'm trying to have super straight arms when I do this. Now, with my belly button drawn towards my spine, I'm going to slowly raise my arms up. I'm going to try to keep the arms straight. Now, my hands are in front of my body. Some folks are able to do this overhead, but what I invite you to do, wherever you are with this, is really push those arms away, lengthen the upper body away from the lower body. Now, I've got scoliosis, but, still I'm able to do this. Maybe one side's higher than the other, but there's a little tension release happening when I lengthen towards the sky. Now, sometimes this can be spastic for the back, so maybe you do a little bit less, maybe you push a little bit less. Again, keep it between the easy and ouch. And then release from that. Beautiful. We're going to do a sun salutation down to the floor. Now, I like to use the chair, but, that we ended with the sun salutation last week. That part of this class also helps to open up the back side of the body. So we'll repeat the upper part of the sun salutations. So we come up to the short end of the yoga mat. And I'm going to keep my chair close by because, I will probably need that chair a little bit. And let me move my yoga mat away from the wall. Typically, we do something that's called swan dive. We inhale, circle, sweep arms up, and the arms go out to the side the way that I teach. And you bend the knees, and you from the hips, it's like you're spilling water out of your pelvis. You tilt yourself forward. So we're going to be doing that at the top of the yoga mat. So feet, once again, very firm, very pointing towards 12 o'clock. And let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Now when we exhale, bend the knees and belly button tight and arms out to the side. This is called swan dive, placing the hands on the thighs. Now, it's also called forward fold. I'm going to move here into the camera. You can alternatively do the forearms on the thighs or grab the elbows, let the belly rest on the thighs and the top of the head dangle towards the floor, kind of looking up upside down in between your legs there. And we're going to reverse all that. So arms out to the side, belly button tight. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Very good. You might hear my breath. I'm kind of constricting the back of my throat as I breathe in and out. It's called the Ujjayi breath or ocean's breath. It's another way to redirect your attention to your breath while you do a yoga posture. And plus, coordinate breath with movement, movement with breath. Lower that cortisol. Let's do that again. Breathing in, circle, sweep arms up. And then bend the knees, belly button tight. Exhale, swan dive into forward fold. You get to pick your fold. Yes, knees are bent. We're going to transition this into monkey stretch. So hands go underneath the kneecaps, and then you straighten the arms, and you kind of be tall from your tailbone to your shoulders. Look forward with your eyes. Belly button tight. Mostly, maybe it's a flat back. And then go back into your forward fold, maybe hands on the thighs this time, and then really bending those knees a little bit, or grab those elbows, hang upside down. Let's reverse that with a reverse swan dive. Inhaling, circle, sweep arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. All right, we're going to add on to that with a little bit of activation of the hamstring, back of the leg, a little bit of lengthening, strengthening the behind, that low back. Keep it between easy and ouch. Let's do that again. Let's breathe in, circle, sweep, arms up. As we exhale, we're swan diving into forward fold or Uttanasana. You pick which one you want to do, elbows off or on. I'll let you hang out here just for a second. Let's transition into monkey stretch. Hands underneath the knees, straighten the arms. Now, maybe straighten one leg, maybe not. Just know that it may not happen. Bend that knee, and let's straighten the other leg. And again, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, maybe it's spicy. Breathe, bend both knees, and go back into your forward fold. Again, you pick your forward fold, folks, okay? Bend the knees, booty down a little bit. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Now we're going to add on to this to where we come down to the floor. It's not the full sun salutation because, spicy back stuff needs to have breaks. So here we go. Breathe in, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, belly button towards your spine, reverse swan dive, hang out in your forward fold. You pick which one, okay? You can hang upside down if you like. We're going to do that monkey stretch again. Hands underneath the knees, straighten the arms. Maybe work towards straightening the legs. Mine are not quite straight. I've got a little bend here, but I definitely feel the opening up of the hamstring, a little of the behind, a little of the low back happening here. Again, it's great for kind of overall back strengthening and stretching. And let's come out of this, bend the knees, go back into forward fold. And let's reverse swan dive. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up, belly button tight. Exhale, hands to heart center. I said we were going to come down to the floor. We didn't do it. We'll do it this time. Here we go. Inhaling, circle, sweep arms up. I got too excited there. Exhale, swan dive. Now this time, hands on either side of the feet or grab your chair or block. And then step one foot way back. Softly come down to that hand or knee. This is where it's different in a traditional sun salutation. And then I like to transition onto the behind. So just come onto your behind, move your chair out of the way. Again, if you're in the chair, that's cool. And from here, let's go ahead and come onto our backs. Make sure you have your strap, your block close by, and we'll do a little bit of breathing. So the sun salutation, is when you coordinate it like with a breath, one breath at a time, you keep the movement going, the heart rate can go up. The heart rate can go up even in the one that we just did. So just kind of notice how you feel here with your knees bent, feet on the yoga mat. Wiggle those shoulders, roll those shoulders away, kind of, lift the behind, get the back side of the behind comfortable into the surface that's supporting you. Now you may want to have a blanket underneath your behind low back. That's an option. That's very comfortable for folks. But we're just going to find our belly button. So find your belly button, poke your finger into your belly button. I'm guesstimating, yep, there it is. And then take your peace fingers, bring the fingers together, bring it down below the belly button, and just slide the hand low on the belly. Other hand, maybe above or below, I like above. And then I invite you to breathe in, let the low belly rise, the mid belly, and the chest rise. So breathe in, belly big. And then exhale, notice the belly falling towards the floor, the hand, coming towards the floor. Then maybe you want to bring the elbow out to make it more comfortable for the shoulder. Just kind of notice and the hand will be out to the side a little bit. And again, breathe in, belly big, low belly, mid belly, chest. And then exhale, falling. Make that little noise in the back of the throat as you notice the breath going in through the nostril tips. Breathe in, belly big. Exhaling, belly button towards the spine. Whether you're seated on the chair, on the couch, laying on your back, either way, or standing. Breathing in, belly big. And exhaling. That's part of our getting grounded when we listen to the breath, when we notice the movement of the belly, the chest rising and falling as we inhale and exhale. Now let's do notice pose. So extend one leg all the way down. Shake that leg a little bit. Then do the same with the other side. Now I go super slow in that second side because it's kind of spicy for me. And then I just wiggle my shoulders, my legs, and I just kind of notice the surface that's supporting me, how if I feel super tight, one side versus the other, one hip flexor, like the hip bones usually feel like very tight in the front part of my torso. And I'm going to squeeze that belly button towards my spine, slide a foot onto the yoga mat, and then the other. Now I'm going to come up to seated, but you can stay here, lay on your back. We're going to do the golfer's grip again. So we're going to take a yoga block in between the knees, We're going to employ that golfer's grip, and we're going to do letter T arms, overhead extension, squeezing the block. This is strengthening both the upper and the lower back, plus increasing the range of motion in our shoulders. Again, do what you can with what you got today. So I'm going to find my block, come back onto my back, place that block in between my knees, a little bit, in between, lower than the tip of my knees, and then walk my feet in, get a little inner thigh squeezing going on here. And then I'm going to do that golfer's grip. So I'm going to bring my hands in front of my chest and do the golfer's grip. Then turn the thumbs to the center of my body, and then bend the elbows, placing the back of the arms on the floor, or parallel arms if you're seated on the chair. So again, I'm trying to have the top of the hand in alignment with my forearm. And I'm going to walk my feet a little bit more in so I get a good consistent squeeze of the block. And try to keep that squeeze with the lower body. And what we're doing with the upper body, if you don't already know, we're going to press the shoulders into the floor and release, or squeeze the shoulders towards one another. Let's do that again. Squeeze and release. Very active with our golfer's grip. Squeeze, squeeze the block, 2, and release. Keep a constant squeeze with the block. 3 more, 2 more. Squeeze and release. And then 1 more. Squeeze, squeeze everything and release. Now bring the hands in front of your chest. Clap the hands. Rub the palms of the hands. And then move the palm heat to your fingers. So make it more of your total hand, getting a nice little rub here. Very good. Now with the hands in front of you, let's interlace the fingers and squeeze the palms together, arms super straight. Make the elbows the same. If you're laying on your back, make sure the top of the shoulders are like into the floor. So everything's kind of the same each time we do this. Now a little squeeze of the block, squeeze of the belly button towards the spine, and then with super straight arms, bring the arms overhead. So this is a little bit more difficult seated in the chair, but again, just do what you can, okay? Don't force it. And just notice where it just kind of stops naturally. One shoulder may keep the other shoulder from going too far, and that's okay, all right? All right, so take a breath here. Breathe in, squeeze the block. And as you exhale, contract that belly button and slowly bring the arms back in front of your chest. Very good. Release the fingers, clap the hands, rub those palms, rub the fingers. Go back into that golfer's grips. Here we go. Thumbs towards the center. Bend at the elbows, back of the arms on the yoga mat. You're squeezing that block. Maybe walk the feet more. Very good. And let's press into the floor. Squeeze the shoulders towards one another and release. Press and release. 3 more. Press and release. 2 more. Press and release. 1 more. Press, squeeze, 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 and release. Hands in front of you. Do a little clap. Rub those palms. Then move that palm rubbing to your fingers. Get a little bit more heat going on into there. I love it. Interlace those fingers. Palms squeezy. Arms straight. Elbows the same. Shoulders down. Whew. Belly button tight. Bring the arms slowly overhead. Don't go fast with this, okay? And it's a little bit more core control when you go a little bit slower. Just notice where the arms go naturally. Don't force it. Try to be natural with this movement. This does not feel natural at all. All right. With that squeezy belly button towards the spine, slowly bring it back in front of your chest. Be kind. Be slow. Squeeze those palms extra if you need to. All right, release the fingers, clap the hands, rub the palms, and then rub the fingers. Last time, golfer's grip. So here we go. Golfer's grip, thumbs towards the center, elbows bent, parallel to the floor, or back of the arms on the floor, and squeezing the block. Don't forget the block squeeze. And here we go. Press into the floor and release. Press and release. 3 more. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. And last one. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Right here, right here, right here. All right. Hands in front of your chest. Do that little palm rubbing and the finger rubbing. Excellent. Interlace the fingers. Squeeze the palms. Super straight arms. Elbows the same. Shoulders down. Very good. Belly button tight as you bring the arms up and overhead. Be slow. Don't forget to breathe. Breathing's important. Notice if one shoulder feels different. I'm going to wiggle my thumbs. Yeah, I'm not quite down to the floor today, but that's okay. I'm taking it easy. Again, keep it between easy and ouch. And then slowly, belly button tight, bring the hands back in front of your chest. Woo. Once it's there, clap the hands, rub the hands. Nice and vigorous right there. And then kind of roll up, release the block. Bring the block out to the side. Let's do a windshield wiper. If you're on the chair, you're up on the balls of the feet to do this. You can do the balls of the feet on the ground too. But the leg that's closest to me, I want you to drop the knee out to the side so you're on the side of the foot if you're on the floor. And again, you can use your block underneath to keep it from going a little bit further. And then take your top leg, drop it towards your bottom leg. And you get this little low lumbar twist. So you're on the inside of the top foot if you're lying on your back, and the outside of the bottom foot. Windshield wipers, kind of like, windshield wipers in the rain. Squeeze the belly button, bring the top leg back to the center. Use your hand if necessary. Bottom leg back to the center. Let's do the other side. So drop the knee out to the side. And then drop the top leg, the other leg, towards the other leg. And again, notice this little traction, lengthening feeling happening from that hip bone, the side booty into the side musculature. And then squeeze the belly button, bring the top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. Let's do that again. You know what? Grab your yoga block. Just bring it in between the legs. And then we're going to try to drop both legs. So belly button super tight, hands on the floor, squeeze that block, and then lower towards the floor as you softly squeeze. Now sometimes this allows us to go a little bit more into the twist. Sometimes it's like, ooh, kind of spicy. Squeeze that belly button. I'm going to use my hand to guide it back, come back to the center, and then we're going to do the other side. Again, a soft squeeze of the block. Let's drop towards the other side. And again, just kind of notice what you notice here. If there's a little bit more challenge, a little bit more spiciness going on. Usually where we have that muscle that inserts into the hip bone and up into the upper body, there's a little bit of spice, a little bit of tension going on. Breathe, do less. Squeeze that belly button and then bring the legs back to the center. Very good. From here, release the block, release the block. Let's bring one leg up into the air, and you know what? Grab your strap and place the strap along the bottom of that foot. Press that foot towards the sky. We're going to do a big toe hold. So what we'll do here is grab onto the strap, whether you're seated in the chair or lying on your back, and you're going to press that foot towards the sky and pull on that strap towards you. You can bring your hands down the strap and wrap your wrists around for a little bit easier grip strength. But it's just not the strap sitting here. We got to be vigorous with this one. So we're pulling and pushing for our bone building benefit. So stimulating those major muscle groups will stimulate bone growth. But we got to stay here about 30 seconds. If you need to bend your knee, please do so, but keep that heel flexed. Notice if your toes like to go out to the side. Try to have the toes aligned with the top of the ankle. So none of the foot flaring out to the side business. Now, we just did a windshield wiper, so we're going to do a windshield wiper with the other foot. But first we tap, tap, tap the other foot, and then drop that knee out to the side. And then this leg that's in the sky, drop it out towards the floor. So the leg out to the side is your counterweight to keep you from rolling up and off. And I got the wall here, but I can't go very far on this side anyway. So pull, 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 push, push, push. Again, enjoying a different angle with this big toe hold. And then bring it back to the center. You know what? Squeeze the belly button. Maybe you can sneak the leg towards that leg and switch it out. It's one way to do it. Or, release the strap and place it into that other foot. Now I'm moving my behind a little bit because it just kind of feels a little odd here. Again, you kind of make stuff fit your body with what you got going on. All right, so I'm going to push the strap away and pull on that strap. And then line up my toes with my shin, my ankle. That makes it a little bit more spicy. So if you were to take your toes out to the side, just kind of notice how that feels, and then bring it back into alignment. Notice how that feels. Are you pulling? Are you pushing? Do you feel your low back really firm into the surface that's supporting you? Now, if you're seated doing this, it's a little bit different feeling. You're on the back of the heel, resting on the floor, so legs super straight. You're still pulling and pushing into that strap. Now that other foot, let's tap, tap, tap. And then drop that knee out to the side. Very good. And then start dropping the sky leg out to the side. Again, the objective is both buns on the yoga mat. So sometimes that opposite hip likes to roll up. So I try to stop, or I grab both ends of the strap, still pulling and pushing, take my hand and press down to where I won't roll that opposite hip. But I feel like I've lost some of my strength in my pulling and pushing when I just do one hand. So I go back to two hands, and I just don't go towards the floor too much, too much more. Woo! And release it back to the center, release the strap. You know what? Take that strap out of those hands, go back to vigorous palm rubbing right here, back and forth, as if you're making a patty cake. Or starting a fire with a stick in between your palms, right? Very good. Let's do all the way down. Notice if your hip flexors, if your front side of your torso feels a little bit more open now. Do the same with the other side. Notice what you notice. One side may be super tight and one side not. Even. Is your back spasming? All these kind of like things to kind of notice in doing these particular yoga postures. Squeeze the belly button, slide a foot onto the yoga mat. Then we need to do pigeon performance bounce today. It's the last class of this year. I just love saying that. I'm going to turn a little sideways. So we'll bring one leg up into the sky and turn it to the side and drop that leg on top of the other leg. And I keep my block close by. Seated on the chair, you can be here on top of the thigh or cross at the ankle at the knee out. You can also do cross at the ankle if you're lying on your back. So we're going to bounce the leg first. So if you're seated, you're pulling it towards you and letting it bounce towards the floor. That's the easier way to do this. You can do this lying on your back also, or take your hand and just kind of bounce the leg away. You can't quite reach the leg, use your yoga block as an extension of you and push the leg away. So we're warming up the piriformis muscle. Then we're going to switch this into pigeon. So I'm going to show a variation of pigeon that a lot of folks like, but for back health, it's one that's not as beneficial. But we need to know our options, right? So make that leg be still and then turn back to up and down or sideways. So a version of pigeon that you may be used to going to other people's classes is to take that yoga strap underneath the bottom leg and then lift the bottom leg and invite the leg towards your chest. So toes towards your knees, bottom foot towards your behind, but you're flexing the heel. And you can take your hand and switch the hand into one strap that's underneath and push that top leg away. So it's not as bone building benefit, not as much building when you lift that bottom leg, but a lot of folks like this because they feel it on that bottom or the top side behind a lot more. And then the traditional version that I teach is foot on the ground. You press your foot into the ground, so you got all this activation going on with the bottom leg. Top leg, again, toes towards the knee. And think about squeezing top buns, press top leg away, either with your own muscular strength, or you take your yoga block and gently push it away as you vigorously press into the bottom leg. Both sets of toes towards the knees or firm into the floor. And release. Whew, release everything. Bounce the leg, and then take that leg up into the air, shake the leg, shake it sideways, shake it up and down again, and release. To kind of lessen leg cramps, you got to shake those legs a little bit. Now, let's do the other side. So again, it's either crossed at the ankle bone or on top of the thigh. We're going to bounce it first. So you pick your bounce. Maybe it's pulling it towards you and bouncing it away. But get a little movement going on there with that top leg. Again, cross at the ankle or on top of the thigh. Very good. Now, if you want to, let's just go ahead and do it. If you want to do my version, please set yourself up. If you want to do the traditional version, squeeze the belly button, hands underneath the bottom leg, pull the leg towards your body, top toes, bottom toes towards your knee, bottom leg, the heel's more towards your behind. So with the hands underneath the bottom leg, I can't easily push the top leg away. Well, let's see. I can have one hand back behind there and then push the top leg away. So it's, again, a push-pull type of effect. And then release. Let's do the version I like to teach. Foot firm into the floor, that bottom leg. So you got that bottom leg activated. Top leg, toes towards your knee. Squeeze top bun, push top leg away. Again, either with your own strength or maybe add on to it, push the leg away. So again, this is for easing sciatica, the shooty pain up and down the leg. We warm up the piriformis. We strengthen the musculature around the piriformis, the iliopsoas, the psoas muscle. Get a little of the QL muscle in there too, just a little bit. Whew. And release. Relax. Bounce that top leg. Very good. And bring that leg into the sky and shake that leg. Little lymphatic drainage and side to side. Somehow. This one doesn't like to do side to side. I don't know why. And shake it up and down once again. And release. Release that leg down to the floor. All right, so let's come onto our hands and knees. Let's kind of, or seated on the chair. So I like to lift up first my bottom and then turn over to my side. And I'm very cagey about this. Hand in front of me, top leg extended. Come up. Take your time. Sometimes you can be dizzy when you go from horizontal to vertical. And let's see, where's my yoga blanket? It's close by. I'll place that yoga blanket here at the back end of the yoga mat. I think, yep. Again, I have some spicy knees, but that yoga blanket is just right for giving me a little extra cushion. So I'm going to transition onto my hands and knees. You want to do this seated on the chair, please do so. One day I need to do just a chair back yoga class, and that way y'all can learn all the chair variations. It's kind of fun. You can be on the tops of the feet or curled toes. And traditional cat-cow is hands underneath the shoulders, curve the spine, belly down. For back yoga, we slide the forearms forward, come down to the forearms. So we don't have extensive curvature in the upper back and the low back. And then settle your behind towards your feet. Now I gotta move my elbows a little bit towards me to make that happen, and the elbows a little bit wide. And then that helps facilitate this a little bit better. This is also known as one of the variations of extended child's pose. From here, with a soft, soft belly, let's inhale, drag our bodies in between the arms. Once we get our nose in alignment with our wristwatch or our wrists, you contract your belly button, start peeling the forearms off, shift a little forward, and keep contracting as you curve your spine to the top of the room and sink and settle your behind towards your heels. Forearms down to the yoga mat. Let's do that again. Inhale, belly soft. Exhale, contract. Let's curve the spine to the top of the room for the cat posture version of this pose. Woo! And then inhale, bring it forward. Flowy cat-cow. It's a yin-yang yoga set of sequences for cat-cow posture. Inhaling, come forward. Exhaling, lower. Let's do one more. Very nice. All right, and settle back on down. Now what you can do here, you can scoot your elbows a little bit more towards you. Forward fold is very calming for the body. So you come up on your elbows, whether you're seated on the chair. Maybe you have your block underneath if you're seated on the chair. You take your palm of your hand, place your eyebrows into your palm of your hand as you rest your head weight into your body. So when the upper body is folded over the lower body, it's very calming for your nervous system. Breathe, expand those ribs in the back side of the body as you inhale and exhale. Very nice. From here, we're going to come up to standing. So I've got my yoga block. I'm going to use my yoga block to help me do that. You can also use your chair. So I'm going to come onto hands and knees, and I'm going to grab my yoga block. Very good. And one hand on the block, one hand on the floor. I'm going to take a leg out to the side, up in between my hands. Take that back foot, shift a little forward, curl that back toe, lift that back knee, and then just kind of hop walk my back foot towards my forward foot. And I got a nice bend in my knees. Now, kind of like we did before, bend the knees, arms out to the side, reverse swan dive, inhaling, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And just place the hands on the chest, feet a little wide, breathe in, chin towards your chest. Kind of gets all the stuff that accumulates with the sinuses out of your system. Plus, if you're feeling a little dizzy, this little calming breath, being here, just firmly standing or seated in the chair, chin towards the chest, kind of helps with any equilibrium shifts you might be having. Let's transition now into warrior posture. So I'm going to grab my chair, move that blanket out of the way. Again, you don't have to use a chair. I just, I do the modifications because of challenges with the back, right? So whether you're seated or whether you're standing, if you're seated, you're going to step a leg out to the side, one knee towards the front, one knee towards the side of the room. Those of us standing, step those feet wide. So the seated version is called letter L legs because they look like a letter L, right? Lift the heel, turn toes towards the short end of the yoga mat. So bend one knee and bend the other. So it's the same. We've got one knee pointed towards the front of the room, the long straight leg, and the other knee towards the short end of the yoga mat. Maybe you can bend the knee a little bit more, maybe not. Track and see, are your toes aligned with your knee aligned with your toes? And so what we're trying to do is keep the hips and the shoulders in alignment as best we can. I see a lot of folks like lean out. We do that in one of the postures, but not in Warrior 2. We're going to go back, of course, Vicki says, we're going to go back to golfer's grip. So fold the fingers in, and you may notice more range of motion happening here. And go to letter W with your shoulders. So you're squeezing, or with your hands. Your arms look like a letter W. And then arms out parallel to the floor. Thumbs forward first. Bend the knee a little bit. Now you can do just one at a time, okay? Draw circles forward and back. Firm feet into the floor, whether you're seated, whether you're standing. Squeeze those shoulders. Beautiful. And release. Shake it out. Kind of punch those arms opposite ends of the room. Bring them up. Bring them back behind you. Very good. Knee is still bent. Feet firm into the floor. Let's do side angle pose. So to do that, you can either place the hand on the thigh towards the short end of the yoga mat, the leg that you stepped out. You think about from your hips to your shoulders lifting up, and then circle the other arm up by your ear. Now bend the bottom arm, bend the bottom elbow, and lean out over. So you're supposed to be like a straight line from your hand to your ankle. However much you can do this angle. Again, you can hang onto the chair instead. You can do forearm onto the thigh. I'm going to do hand today. And then we're going to do reverse warrior. So the hand that's in the air, we're going to bring it onto the hip, and the other one, circle sweep arm up. So here we go. There's our side lateral flexion with our reverse warrior. And then float the arm down, straighten the leg, pivot the foot, bring the legs in. Whether you're seated, whether you're standing. Kind of shake them out a little bit. Very good. We're going to do that 3 sequence setup again on the other side. So step your leg out to the other side if you're seated. Once again, feet wide. Sometimes you'll go wider one side versus the other with your stance. Lift your heel, turn your toes, bend the knee. Again, I'm always looking, is my knee aligned with my foot aligned with my knee? Do I need to move it a little bit? Can I heel toe out? Are my hips parallel? All these questions. Go back to that golfer's grip, of course, right? Fold it in, and then squeeze the shoulders. You've got your arms kind of like a letter W, and then out to parallel to the floor. Now, before we had the thumbs forward, do thumbs up, do thumbs to the back of the room. Again, you can do one arm at a time, and then circle back behind you. Again, you can hang on to the chair, just do one. Your arms can be a little bit lower. They can be kind of shooting out from the shoulders, parallel to the floor, like a letter T. Whew. Feet firm. Breathing. Very good. Now shake them out. And a little upper body movement here, a little punching. Very good. Now, take a hand on that bent knee side, maybe bend the knee a little bit more. Other arm, let's circle it up towards our ear. And then bend that bottom elbow, maybe bend the knee a little bit more. Reach from the heel to the hand. Can't see my hand. Very good. Maybe come to the forearm. Maybe grab the chair. Feet firm. Keep breathing. Keep wiggling. Then we're going to take that top hand, bring it on your hip, and then come out of the posture. I'm going to press into my hip on this one. Arm up. Now the hand can be pressed into the hip or sliding down the leg or grab it onto that chair. Eyes can look where the hand is or where your elbow pit is or looking forward, depending on your issues with looking at the top shelf. Float that arm down, straighten that leg, pivot the foot, walk it in. Bring the legs back to the center. Beautiful. Let's do our tree posture while we're here. So, let's see. I'll show the one on the wall first. So we're going to step a foot out, lift the heel, turn the foot. So again, we've got one knee, one direction, one knee the other direction. I'm going to have my fingertips on the wall on this one, and my knee is towards you. So I'm going to walk my foot into the other foot. It could be here low on the floor, but you can't really notice it, but my knee is in alignment with my other part of my body. Sometimes the leg travels to the front of the room, so try to invite it out to the side. Maybe it can go into the calf. Maybe it can go into the inner thigh. Have the bottom foot firm into the floor. Arms up, whatever you can manage. Again, you can be connected here. If you're seated on the floor, bring your block forward. Bring the knee out to the side for your tree posture. And then really think about lengthening up. And release. Woo. We're going to do the other side. So take the block over to the other side, step on the block, step your foot out, turn your foot, lift your heel. Make sure your balanced foot is at a 12 o'clock position. Go wherever you need to. Raise up. Now I'm hanging onto the chair on this side. Again, the leg out to the side. You may notice the dance of the foot happening here. Woo! And release. Beautiful. You can do this next part either standing or seated. I'm going to do it seated today. It's our movement meditation. So again, if you're standing, your feet are firm into the floor. You're seated, of course, feet firm into the floor. Try not to have the feet in underneath the chair, but at a nice angle here and sit up nice and tall. Wherever you are, arms out to the side, forward in traditional mountain posture, seated mountain, standing mountain. So let's inhale, gather our arms in. Exhale, raise them to shoulder height. Inhale, open outwards. Exhale, contract your arms. Inhale, throw it towards your chest. Exhale, push it forward. Inhale, lower. Exhale, bring it out to the side. Let's do that again. Inhale, gather in. Exhale, rise. Inhale, open outwards. Exhale, contract those arms. Inhale, flow it towards your chest. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lower. Exhale, disperse out. Now we're going to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to scoot a little forward on my chair. If you're seated, you'll do the same. If you're standing, you're staying there. So let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows. You're pressing vigorously into the floor, whether you're seated, whether you're standing. And inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows into chair posture. Belly button tight. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Let everything relax. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows. Now while we're here, lift one set of toes, lift the other set of toes, and then toes down. Lift one heel, if you can. Lift the other heel, heels down. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, come on back down to the floor. And since I'm really close, I'm just kind of sashayed down to the floor from that chair. Let's go back onto our back. You may want your chair later for legs on the chair for final relaxation. You may want your blanket later to roll up underneath your knees. But first, we're going to do that block bridge pose. So I invite you to come back onto your back before we do that guided rest and relaxation. And if it's available, either, depending on your chair, you place the towel in and press your back into the chair. My chair has an opening, so it wouldn't work. And then if you're laying on your back, you're walking your feet towards your behind, squeezing your core, lifting your behind up either with your hand or your own strength. Bring that block underneath. So this is where the block is really like the best benefit. I'm going to walk my shoulders away, back of the head away, and this further releases tension in the spine. So if you can, raise a leg up and off and just shake that leg. And then my paint goes up my leg. And shake it side to side. And shake it again nice and vigorously. And then slowly lower down to the floor. Let's do the other side. So bring that other leg up and shake. Shake your leg if you're seated on the chair. You don't have to use the block on this one, but that's nice for lymphatic release. Side to side. If y'all haven't seen my chair Tai Chi video on my YouTube, go check it out. It's a lot of lymphatic drainage, a lot of different kind of seated movements in Tai Chi wise. It's kind of nice. And again, shake your leg. If you like chair classes, check out that chair class. It's also good for back challenges. Now, if you want to, bring the other leg up at the same time and shake the legs. Alternate. Alternate shaking if you're seated on the chair. And then side to side. Use your hands if you need to, help shake your leg. That helps you to avoid leg cramps. Shaking your legs daily. And again, up and down. Very nice. Lower one leg. Kind of feel the energy kind of tingling in the leg. And then the other. Press into the mat. Roll up. And then roll your spine down. Notice what you notice here. Hopefully there's some easing going on, some relief. And then let's do the notice pose. Extend one leg, then the other. See if you notice any differences on how you feel in your body at this moment compared to the beginning of class. So you can stay here, close the eyes, arms out to the side or hands resting on your belly. Sometimes I take that yoga strap because it's close by and I've got the lights on and I'll just use that to cover my eyes. Or some folks, they'll have the feet be super wide and then drop the knees in towards one another. However you want to get comfortable in your chair, that's how you get comfortable. But some folks will put their legs on the seat of the chair also. So this is where I invite you to get comfortable. Our next portion of the class is our guided rest and relaxation and our gratitude practice. So I invite you to get comfortable. Whatever that might mean for you. Maybe you need to kind of shake one leg out, maybe move a shoulder, maybe you need to cover up with a blanket or put your socks on. Again, whatever it is that makes you feel a little bit more comfortable in the moment. So this is just another portion of the class that helps us kind of let go of that tension, reduce our pain. All you have to do is listen to the sound of my voice. Sometimes you'll fall asleep during this part, and sometimes you'll find your mind wander. So again, just bring your attention back to the sound of my voice. Just notice that you're breathing. Don't change it in any way. Just notice, what does it feel like to breathe in here? And what does it feel like to breathe out? Good. Then from here, we're going to pay attention to different places in our body. It's called a body scan, also known as a rotation of consciousness. This helps us to lessen the monkey mind. If you tend to overthink something or have repetitive thoughts or maybe a song stuck in your head, this helps you to go through different places in your body and allows you to let go of that. All you have to do again is listen to the sound of my voice. And in this practice, I'll say a place in your body like your right hand thumb. You'll think right hand thumb. You'll imagine the right hand thumb. And then you'll shift all of your attention, all of your awareness to the right hand thumb. So let's begin. So I invite you to place all of your attention, all of your awareness to your right hand thumb. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, right pinky finger, right wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, right shoulder, right side chest, right side waist, hip, upper right leg, knee, shin, top of the right foot, sole of the right foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, right pinky toe. I invite you to notice just the right places of your body, just that right side. Let the left side drop out and just notice the places in your body on that right side of your body. Good. Let's shift all of our attention now over to the left places of our body, starting with that left hand thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, left pinky finger, left wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, left shoulder, left side chest, left side waist, hip, upper left leg, knee, shin, top of the left foot, sole of the left foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, left pinky toe. Once again, let's pay particular attention to the left places on our body, just that left side. Just notice what you notice or don't notice. Good. And now let's shift our attention to the back side of our body, starting with the back of the head, right shoulder, left shoulder, upper back, mid back, the low back, right behind, left behind, back side of the right leg, back side of the left leg, the back side of the right arm, the back side of the left arm. From here, notice the places that are touching the surface that supports in the back side of the body. Notice feeling grounded, weighted into the surface that's supporting you. Good. Let's flip that to all the front places of the body. Notice the air coming across the skin, the clothing draped on our body, and maybe the feeling of feeling lighter in the front places of the body compared to the back places of the body. Good. From here, let's do a little scan of the front places of the body, starting with the forehead, right ear, left ear, right eye, left eye, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, the eyebrow center, right nostril, left nostril, upper lip, lower lip, chin, jawline, the neck, the throat center, right collarbone, left collarbone, right chest, left chest, the heart center, upper abdominals, the navel center, lower abdominals, the right hip, the left hip, pelvic floor, right groin, left groin. And again, I invite you to notice the top side of the right leg, the top side of the left leg. Notice again the air coming across the skin. Notice the back side of the body weighted into the surface that's supporting us. Good. Go back to noticing your breath. From here, let the belly be soft and free. Breathe in, belly big. And as you exhale, draw that belly button towards your spine. On the in-breath, you're rising. On the out-breath, you're falling. Breathing in, rising. Breathing out, falling. Beautiful. Once again, I invite you to wiggle your toes, your fingers, little ankle circles, little wrist circles. If your legs are on the chair, your knees bent, I invite you to draw your knees in toward your chest. If you're seated, legs wide, and do these wide body circles, wide knee circles if you're on your backside. Take your time. And then pause, and let's go the other direction. Come back to the center. From here, roll over onto your favorite side. Push into the floor and drag yourself up to a seated place. Once you're there, I invite you to drop your chin towards your chest, hands at heart center, either hands together or hands stacked, just for a moment here. And let's think about one thing that we're grateful for today, or at least an idea of gratitude. Bring that into your heart space. Good. That's just, in gratitude of you all showing up today too. Doing your self-care, helping yourselves out. It's all good. You can keep your chin towards your chest or gaze your eyes forward, eyes opened or closed, as we have our ending and closing comments for our class today. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the strength, the peace, and the understanding, and that little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors and respects the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of gentle yoga for low back care.